denied Army commander to step down next month. Ministry releases funds for schools for fire safety. And it's back to school for another year. Very good evening. Prime Minister Commodore Bainimarama will relinquish his role as military commander at the end of next month. He revealed this at the military commander's parade at the Queen Elizabeth Barracks this morning. Bainimarama also reiterated the reasons behind the military takeover in 2006, telling soldiers that what they did was right. Myron Williams with this report.
This is probably one of the last parades and address to the men and women in his command. This morning, Prime Minister and Military Commander Commodore Bainimarama confirmed for the first time to those under his command that come the 1st of March, they will have a new commander. There has been no indication yet as to who will take over the reins of leadership in just over a month's time. And Bainimarama says whoever it will be should be given the full support of the military. Bainimarama today said that the RFMF needed to do what it did back in 2006. He added that elections this year is an important part of Fiji's progress. And as we head to the polls in a few months' time, those in the RFMF and Fiji Navy were urged not to be easily swayed by politicians and to choose wisely who they want to represent them in Parliament. Under the 2013 Constitution, the commander of the RFMF is appointed by the President on the advice of the Constitutional Officers Commission. Myron Williams, Fiji One News.
Commodore Bainimarama also recognized the services of several officers today. The awards were presented to officers who have continuously served in the RFMF for more than 15 years. 3FIR Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Manong Andai and Lieutenant Colonel Manasa Tangidakimbao were awarded command medals. Major Choreawa was given the Meritorious Service Decoration. This is usually given to those who, apart from serving the force for 15 years, have also commanded the force, including colonels of regiment and honorary colonels. Several other recipients received the Meritorious Service Awards, a service recognition for non-commissioned ranks of the RFMF for their long and faithful service. A Class 2 student drowned yesterday afternoon in Lautoka. Police spokesperson Anane Soro said the boy had gone swimming with his older siblings at Colorcraft Rifle Range in Lautoka. While swimming, his siblings noticed he was missing and raised the alarm. His body was found more than an hour later, and attempts to revive him were unsuccessful. Investigations continue. Parents have once again been urged to monitor their children's movement. The current drowning toll is 5 now compared to 6 for the same period last year. The ministry has directed schools to accept students who passed the Fiji School Living Certificate examination into the 7th form. In a statement this afternoon, Minister for Education Philip Mbole said that all policies pertaining to entry in the 7th form are to be removed. This is to allow students who have passed the Form 6 to continue with 7th form education. This directive was issued to senior staff at a monthly meeting today. Mbole says this is in line with Pillar 9 of the People's Charter that's aimed at making Fiji a knowledge-based society. School principals and management have been advised to heed the minister's directive. They've been urged not to turn away students who have not attained the 230 to 250, which is the current entry marks for Form 7. The recent spate of fires has now placed pressure on authorities to ensure the safety of children, especially with the new school year commencing tomorrow. The Ministry of Education has released funds to schools to make sure they're equipped with proper fire safety equipment. The National Fire Authority also saying that they are working closely with the Education Ministry on the matter.
The Ministry of Education is keeping a close eye on schools and hostels till they are properly equipped for fire-related incidents. Concerns have been raised by parents that certain boarding schools did not have the proper equipment. However, Dr. Lal said funds have been given to schools to cater for these equipments.
We have given them the money. The money is in their hands. We have released the grants so they can buy any time because we have carried on the training with the school managements.
But the Permanent Secretary stresses that children's safety is paramount and schools need to ensure that they have the proper equipment. However, this has not stopped the ministry from tackling fire safety at the grassroots level.
Those schools that don't have, we will be working with them this year to make sure that they have those things there in place.
The ministry has also worked collaboratively with the National Fire Authority to address fire safety in schools.
We are working with National Fire Authority. On the first part, we are preparing a resource booklet that will go to all the schools. Together, we have prepared, my officers at CDU have worked and everything is in line, and we are just ready to print that, and then it will go out.
Dr. Lal says the ministry is working on getting schools equipped with fire safety equipment.
We are trying to make them OHS compliance by telling them what are all the requirements and what they should meet. So we fully support that, especially the boarding schools, there should be fire extinguishers there and so forth. So
far there have been 10 fires reported this year. Reviver for all, Fiji 1 News.
Out of the 120 structural fires recorded last year, 4 of them involved schools. With schools starting in a few hours' time, our National Fire Authority will see that schools are fire equipped.
A process to be followed. Firstly, we have to complete thorough inspections, and then after thorough inspections, we have to discuss the findings with the management of the school or the Ministry of Education.
The amount of damages for the fires reported from January to July cost close to $30 million. The start of a new school year is always a time of excitement and anxiety for students and parents alike. Rawaiva Fa'o took to the streets today and caught up with those still trying to make those last-minute back-to-school purchases.
The capital city was abuzz this morning as last-minute shoppers scrambled for stationery essentials before the first school term starts tomorrow. The heat this morning did not deter shoppers from capitalizing on back-to-school specials.
We think that the prices are going down now compared to what it was in the previous, like last year. The prices it was overcrowded, so we could not shop that time. So now we are doing the last minute shopping because we think the prices have gone down now.
There's more competition in more shops in Fiji. So last minute everybody is trying to sell out the old stocks and getting the new stocks for the new year.
I heard that the prices would be cheaper in the last day, so I just came out from home, came to the bookshop, bought a few books, getting ready for school tomorrow.
The shops were full, the lines were long. Starting from tomorrow, students will be heading back to the classrooms. All have set themselves goals to achieve for this academic year.
I am very excited. I hope to do a lot this year because we have to do, we are the future leaders, so we have to study a lot.
The first time I'll try to come first this time and study harder. Yeah. I want to join rugby team.
More than 180,000 students will start school tomorrow. Reviver for all, Fiji 1 News.
Still to come tonight, prison escapee recaptured in Bua. And Education Ministry defends CBA system. Hello again. Prison escapee David Solomone has been recaptured. According to the Fiji Corrections Service, he was caught yesterday afternoon at Namburesoba Nandi in Bua. Solomone, who had been convicted of burglary and theft, had escaped from the Waturekuka Corrections Facility last week. The Fiji Corrections Service has commended the assistance of the general public in his recapture. With the school year getting underway tomorrow, relevant stakeholders have worked together to ensure that teachers are able to address students' needs adequately. This includes students with special needs. As Absalom Rambo reports, teaching methods have been improvised to ensure that no one is left out.
Students with special needs have in the past been absorbed into ordinary schools. Recent developments in policies regarding the provision of education has also introduced changes.
Like the intervention of the Ministry of Education, where it is going now. Look, we're trying to take our children as much as possible to go back into mainstream education.
OSAID, the Ministry of Education, and special education officers within the ministry itself are currently working on a project. This is expected to assist students with special needs as they make the transition into their preferred classes.
Now they start training mainstream teachers. They start training them so that if there's a children with disability being identified in that area, it doesn't need to be taken all the way from Raki to Suba. We just have to be there. It's only the teachers are trained to facilitate learning in there.
Rombana Kandavu says the transitional teaching concept is also a way of addressing the stigma often associated with people living with disabilities.
When we're doing this, it's not like we're depriving the trainee to be clustered at the special school, rather than joining the mainstream. Like we take that student as a person, and not a children with disability.
According to Rombana Kandavu, this approach will facilitate the all-inclusive target, a new approach adopted by the Ministry of Education. Absalom Rambo, Fiji 1 News.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Vocational Training Centre for Persons with Disabilities is anticipating an exciting 2014. Its achievements last year have definitely placed it on good footing, with scholarships on offer for vocational programs.
With the biggest chunk of the national budget going to the education sector this year, children with special needs have not been forgotten. And this is largely due to the all-inclusive education outlook.
The government of the day have a special scholarship for special children, which is called SC scholarship.
Rombana Kandavu says last year they worked with the Fiji National University. They were able to plan and implement franchise programs such as cabinet making and computer courses. Progress of these programs have been commendable.
And last year, 19 of our students do graduate with the FNU certificates of attainment.
With an impressive 2013 record, this also ensures additional assistance.
In this year's budget, that scholarship money has gone up. They provided 200,000 for children this year.
The focus of the centre in 2014 is to equip the students with skills from the School of Hospitality and Tourism. Absalom Rambo, Fiji 1 News.
The Ministry of Education has refuted claims by the Fiji Teachers Union that the reduction of the number of executive teachers is affecting the quality of education. But in the same breath, the Permanent Secretary for Education, Dr. Bridge Lal, says the ministry is looking at ways to boost this particular scheme.
Last week, the Fiji Teachers Union claimed that the reduction of executive teachers had an impact on the quality of education. Today, the Ministry of Education responded to those claims.
I disagree. This is a new thing that has come in recently, and it's more of a money making, I would say. We support that position because it can help, but to claim that it has direct effect is a great lie.
The Permanent Secretary for Education also shed some light on the issue.
There were close to 900 executive teacher positions in the primary school. Some 4 years ago, it has been reduced to half. At the moment, we have about 492 positions. Because the budget was reduced at one time, 3 or 4 years ago, the government budget, every ministry was asked to reduce the budget by 10%, and we had to do certain cuts in various areas, and that's why it was reduced, and things are going on. We are applying for additional budget into that area, and if we get it, we will be able to put that back. But at the moment, the number remains at 492.
Dr. Lal says changes made to the scheme were beyond his control.
Because the budget was reduced at one time, 3 or 4 years ago, the government budget, every ministry was asked to reduce the budget by 10%, and we had to do certain cuts in various areas, and that's why it was reduced.
He adds the ministry is now looking at ways to reinstate the number of executive teachers back to what it was.
We are applying for additional budget into that area, and if we get it, we will be able to put that back. But at the moment, the number remains at 492.
Executive teachers are those who supervise classes when a particular teacher is unavailable. Apisola Rambo, Fiji One News.
A team of researchers are currently gathering information from turtle nesting areas along the Great Sea Reef in Vanuatu. WWF South Pacific says this is the first time that baseline data from these areas is being gathered. The Global Conservation Organization is partnering with the Fiji National University and the University of the South Pacific on this project. Marine science students from both universities are involved in this research and are guided by turtle monitors or Ndaunibono. According to Marine Species Coordinator Leitia Tamata, information collected will provide statistical evidence and strengthen advocacy for turtle protection. It's also expected to motivate turtle monitors to perform beach surveys over a month. Tamata says the data gathered as well as lessons learned will be shared with the Fiji Sea Turtle Steering Committee. This will then be used to formulate policies and laws for turtle protection. It will also be shared with Pacific Island countries to help them pursue sea turtle protection. Stay with us. Pacific News is up next.